The crowd roared as Linkin Park stepped onto the stage, their music uniting fans from every corner of the world. For decades, they've been a band that redefined genres, blending nu metal with raw emotion. But today, their name is sparking controversy, leaving fans divided like never before. Linkin Park's journey is one of triumph, tragedy, and transformation. From the angsty anthems of Hybrid Theory to the emotional resonance of One More Light, their music has been a lifeline for millions. But with change comes challenges, and not all fans are on board. What happened to the band that brought us so many unforgettable moments? Why are people questioning their decisions now? Today, we're diving deep into the drama surrounding Linkin Park to uncover what's really going on. To understand why emotions are running so high, we need to go back to the heart of Linkin Park's legacy, the voice that defined them, and the loss that changed everything.
It's hard to imagine Linkin Park without Chester Bennington. His voice wasn't just powerful, it was raw, emotional, and deeply human. From the screams of Crawling to the vulnerability of Numb, Chester gave words to feelings many of us couldn't express. When Chester joined Linkin Park in 1999, he brought a fire that ignited the band's rise to global fame. Their debut album, Hybrid Theory, wasn't just a commercial success, it was a cultural moment, selling over 27 million copies and earning a place in the hearts of fans worldwide. Chester became the voice of a generation, and for many, he was Linkin Park. But behind the electrifying performances and heartfelt lyrics was a man fighting his own battles. Chester spoke openly about his struggles with depression, addiction, and trauma. His music wasn't just an outlet, it was a lifeline both for himself and for millions of fans who found solace in his words. Then, on July 20th, 2017, the unthinkable happened. Chester Bennington took his own life, leaving behind a legacy that felt impossibly large and a void that seemed impossible to fill. Fans were devastated. Tributes poured in from around the world, and for many, it felt like the end of an era. Linkin Park's music, so tied to Chester's voice and soul, now carried a weight of sorrow. The question lingered, could the band move forward without him? Should they? But Linkin Park wasn't ready to say goodbye. They chose to honor Chester's memory, not by standing still, but by evolving, a decision that would soon divide their fan base. And that evolution came with a new voice, a bold choice that sparked both hope and controversy. It was a decision no band ever wants to make. How do you replace someone irreplaceable? For Linkin Park, the answer came in the form of Emily Armstrong, a powerhouse vocalist known for her work with the band Dead Sarah. But for many fans, this wasn't just a new chapter, it felt like a betrayal. When Linkin Park announced Emily Armstrong as their new lead singer, reactions were immediate and intense. Some fans were excited to see the band move forward, hoping Emily's dynamic energy could bring a fresh spark to their music. Others, however, were less forgiving. For many, Chester Bennington wasn't just the voice of Linkin Park. He was the soul of the band, and the idea of someone stepping into that role felt to them like an impossible task. Emily's own journey into the spotlight didn't help matters. Critics pointed to her past support of actor Danny Masterson, who was convicted of sexual assault. Although Emily publicly apologized and expressed support for survivors, the controversy cast a shadow over her debut with the band. Fans who were already skeptical found another reason to question the decision. And then there's the music itself. Emily's voice is undeniably powerful, but it's different. So different that many fans wondered if this was still the Linkin Park they had fallen in love with. Some saw the move as a bold reinvention, a way for the band to honor their past while embracing a new future. Others accused Linkin Park of trying to capitalize on Chester's legacy, using Emily as a way to keep the brand alive rather than letting it rest. But the band remained steadfast. For them, this wasn't about replacing Chester, it was about continuing the journey he had helped start. Yet the controversy didn't end with Emily's arrival. As the band prepared to release new music, questions about their direction and their motives only grew louder. For fans, Linkin Park's music has always been more than just songs. It's been a source of comfort, a voice in the darkness. But when Chester Bennington passed away, many felt that the story of the band should end there. How could they possibly continue without him? The members of Linkin Park faced a crossroads. Disbanding would have been the safer choice, a way to preserve Chester's legacy untouched. But the remaining members believed they still had more to say, more music to create. Continuing wasn't a decision they took lightly. It was a choice fueled by love for their craft, their fans, and their late bandmate. But it was also a choice that divided their community. Some fans applauded their resilience, seeing their decision to move forward as a way to honor Chester's spirit. After all, Chester himself had always believed in evolution and pushing boundaries. But for others, it felt like a step too far. Like moving on meant leaving Chester behind. The announcement of new music with Emily Armstrong brought these emotions to the forefront. Supporters pointed out that the band had always adapted and experimented from their nu metal roots to their pop-influenced One More Light. But skeptics accused them of prioritizing profit over integrity. Was this a tribute to Chester, or was it an attempt to stay relevant in a music industry that never stops moving? For Linkin Park, the answer was clear. They weren't replacing Chester. They were continuing the journey he had started. In interviews, they emphasized that their bond as a band went beyond any single member, even one as irreplaceable as Chester. But the question remained, would fans see this as a continuation of Linkin Park's legacy or the beginning of its undoing? And while the debate raged on, one question loomed over it all. What would their new music sound like? Linkin Park has never been a band that stands still. From the heavy, raw sound of Hybrid Theory to the experimental tones of A Thousand Suns, they've always embraced change. But with Emily Armstrong now in the mix, fans couldn't help but wonder, what direction would they take next? The release of One More Light in 2017 was already a contentious moment for the band. Moving away from their nu metal roots, the album leaned heavily into pop influences, sparking heated debates among fans. Some saw it as a bold evolution, others felt it was a betrayal of the band's identity. Now, with Emily's voice leading the charge, the band's sound is once again poised to shift. Early teasers of their new material suggest a blend of rock and pop influences, with some hints of the raw emotion that defined their earlier work. For some fans, this evolution is exciting, a sign that Linkin Park is still willing to take risks and explore new territory. But for others, it's a step too far from the sound that made them fall in love with the band in the first place. Critics have pointed out that while the band's willingness to evolve is admirable, it comes with risks. Can Linkin Park retain the essence of what made them great while forging a new path? Or will they alienate their longtime fans in the process? For Linkin Park, the stakes have never been higher. Their music has always been a reflection of who they are. And now, with a new voice at the forefront, the world is watching to see what they'll create. But as the band moves forward, another concern lingers. Is Linkin Park honoring Chester's memory, or are they at risk of exploiting it? For fans, Chester Bennington's legacy isn't just about his music, it's about his spirit, his vulnerability, and his connection to those who felt unheard. So when Linkin Park announced new projects, some couldn't help but wonder, was this about honoring Chester or about keeping the brand alive? Since Chester's passing, Linkin Park has released special editions of their classic albums, exclusive merchandise, and anniversary re-releases. While many fans see these as heartfelt tributes, others argue that the band risks commercializing Chester's memory. The addition of a new lead singer has only intensified these concerns. To some, it feels like a necessary step to keep the music alive. To others, it feels like the band is moving on too quickly, turning Chester's legacy into a marketing tool. Emily Armstrong's arrival hasn't helped ease tensions. Critics have questioned whether her voice and presence can coexist with the towering shadow of Chester's influence. For some fans, the idea of new Linkin Park music without Chester feels incomplete, like a story missing its most vital chapter. But the band insists their decisions are driven by love and respect for their late frontman. In interviews, they've described their new music as a way to continue Chester's mission, connecting with fans, breaking boundaries, and creating something meaningful. Still, the question remains, can Linkin Park balance their need to evolve with their responsibility to preserve Chester's legacy? Or will their efforts to move forward only deepen the divide among fans? And as the band navigates these challenges, one thing is clear. Linkin Park's journey is far from over, but it's a journey that continues to spark controversy. Linkin Park has always been a band of evolution, resilience, and reinvention. From their groundbreaking debut with Hybrid Theory to the emotional depth of One More Light, they've never been afraid to take risks. But with change comes controversy, and their latest chapter is no exception. For some, the decision to move forward with Emily Armstrong feels like a betrayal of what the band once was. For others, it's a testament to their strength and determination to keep creating music in the face of unimaginable loss. At the heart of it all lies a question that every fan must answer for themselves. Is this the beginning of a bold new era for Linkin Park, or a step too far from the band we once knew? What remains undeniable is the impact Linkin Park has had on millions of lives. Their music continues to inspire, to heal, and to connect, and while their journey is far from over, the road ahead is filled with challenges and possibilities. What do you think? Should Linkin Park continue to evolve, or is it time to close the book? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the drama surrounding Linkin Park, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories about the music world. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.